What's happening, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another Thursday edition of Crypto Connoisseurs. Guys, we have been talking a lot about NFTs, gaming, metaverses, and what to do, what not to do. For a lot of you, this is a new world and it is exploding. And we have all been kind of wondering what is going to be the killer app? What's going to be the use case that brings blockchain and crypto into the hands of the masses? And I think you, the community, the world has spoken. I think it's obvious when you look at the charts, when you see the volume that OpenSea is doing, the amount of transactions that are happening that are just literally breaking Ethereum, blowing it out, even breaking Binance Smart Chain, maxing out capacity of these mints, these NFTs, this madness, this mania that's going on right now. And, I have been interested in the use case of NFTs from a gaming and authenticity perspective, but there's also the whole art collective world that's coming online right now too. So NFTs have not only intrigued the hands, or have got into the hands of gaming and gamers, and we saw that with AXIE, and we're seeing it with a lot of other opportunities, but also the art world. And so I'm sure that you have a lot of questions. I have a lot of questions, and I don't have all the answers, but we're bringing on a couple of guests that can help us clear up some of this confusion, what to do, what not to do, and also see what kind of alpha we got out there in the space. So let's bring on our guests tonight. We got Hashoshi and Johnny. What's happening, guys?
How's it going? Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone.
Thanks for being here, guys. Really, really happy to have you here. There's a lot going on in the whole world right now. We are leaving that of the early adopters, and we're kind of in the early majority stage right now, right? We've got countries, I think there's, 5 or 6 now that have all introduced kind of Bitcoin law. El Salvador finally made it illegal today to actually use Bitcoin, like implemented it into law. We hear Panama is now introducing a bill. Mexico's considering it. And we see things like AXIE breaking chains. And I think, Johnny, I'd love to get your opinion a little bit about protocols, what's going on. Hashoshi, I'm sure you're all over it too. Unless you've been living under a rock, and definitely not an ether rock, but like an actual rock, that's the protocol narrative is strong. And I'm really excited and also, you guys, we have this giveaway that is absolutely insane, and we had Star Atlas on it, which is just broke records, shattering things, launching at over 150x or something from our IDO price from paid, and so now this giveaway is worth over $1 million. We shattered that record. I think that is now, that is child's play, right? We are just coming into what I think is a super cycle, and more and more projects are donating to this giveaway. And I believe that we're going to get to 20, 30, $40 million in the next 3 months on this. And because it's gotten so huge, I want this to be a massive, massive deal. I want this to be something where this is something that makes a huge impact on the lives of the world, right? And I did some numbers the other day, and I think that we can at least change the lives significantly of at least 250,000 people, right? Because we're talking about being able to play to earn games on a $20 smartphone. And when you do the math, even including, helping to pay some volunteers to help go out and buy these devices and actually put them in the hands of families and teach them how to play these games, we're talking about 250,000 plus people from this giveaway. And that's just giving away half of it. And before I was thinking about 20%, and then the number just got so huge, and I thought about the impact that we can do. And, if you're already in crypto right now, I'm sure that a lot of you watching could use this money, and it might change your life or make it a little bit better. But for a lot of people in the world, this will absolutely, completely change lives. And that's what Play to Earn has actually introduced. This is actually enabling people who had never had an opportunity to earn a salary or an income or a wage and just living off of nothing to actually have an income. And things like Venezuela, people are earning 50 times the normal salary. 50 times. That's 4 years of salary in 1 month of playing Play to Earn. That's incredible. So I want to thank everybody who has donated. this is actually turning into be something super exciting. So anybody who's watching this, please share this with everybody, because the more viewers that we get, the more that projects want to contribute, the more exposure that they get, and the better that we can do. And we're gonna, and if anyone's interested in, in being part of this and helping, when we finally are able to go distribute these smartphones and go and share this with families, we're gonna need all the help that we can get. So again, we're going to bring on Represent DAO in a little bit, father and son who are really near and dear to my heart, who are building protocol for transparency and change in governance, which is something that blockchain was meant to do. Decentralized governance, right? Removing the middlemen, bring transparency. In the United States, every single 4 years, people complain that there's always rigged and there's voting fraud and stuff like that. It's so obvious to any of us, right? It's so obvious. You give each citizen who has the right to vote an NFT, or and then boom, they can cast their vote, and it's done autonomously, immutably. There's no question about any type of voter fraud anymore, right? It's so obvious for us, and that's why I'm really stoked to bring on Represent DAO, because they're taking the initiative to make some huge change in the way that we do governance. But let's dive into it, guys. Hashoshi, what have you been looking at, man? What's keeping you up and late at night and making you excited about the space?
Yeah, I mean, I think right now the biggest thing in my strategy has been for a long time to look at projects, protocols, tooling that help support the creation of other new and innovative things, right? So not necessarily looking at chasing pumps, looking at the next, big token, but what is going to make the next generation of cool projects possible. I'm not trying to, again, this is not a thing to go FOMO into a project, but one example of that is something like charged particles, right? Charged particles allowing you to create essentially NFTs that are containers for fungibles and non-fungibles. You can think of probably 100 things right off the top of your head that type of technology can be used for. That's what I'm passionate about. What are building blocks? Sorry, go ahead.
Can you give us an example? Because I'm sure a lot of people watching have no idea what you just said.
Yeah. So something like charged particles, you create a non-fungible token that essentially can own or become a container for other tokens. So think about it in the context of a game, right? You might have a player character that has, slots for armor, a sword, a shield, cosmetic items, whatever. You could create an NFT which represents the holistic attachments for that character, and sell one token on the secondary market to sell your avatar, your main character, without having to pay transfer costs for all 7 or 8 of those items, right? So you've now basically containerized one collectible to sell holistically with all those things attached. That's just one example of it. And the applications for media as well, DeFi and NFTs sort of collapsed together, where you have art with fungible tokens that earn you yield in DeFi integrated together. It's pretty crazy and cool.
Do you think that I always thought this was kind of almost like an oxymoron, right? Like when you make a non-fungible token fungible, do you think that it was meant to be like? Do you think that it was meant to be like? It's a weird concept, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it still kind of retains its non-fungible nature, even if you attach fungibles, because each one is attached to probably a different mix of different fungible tokens. Maybe the baseline, well, let's just say you have a piece of art, right? And it's one of one. It's generative. It's different than any other art created with the same algorithm. And you attach sort of a suite of different fungible tokens in the Ethereum space. So you can earn some yield in Aave, for example. The base layer token is still a non-fungible piece of art. It's one of one, but you're now sort of infusing it with value and allowing someone to earn and build wealth around that. So it's pretty interesting, but I agree with you, right? It's like paradoxical how the lines are becoming blurred about what these things are. But that to me is a sign of innovation, being able to do new and unique things with these things.
Yeah, absolutely. Johnny, you have been an innovator in the space for a long time. Anyone watching my channel knows that I've been a fan of Cardia Chain for a long time. And a lot of the innovative stuff that you guys are doing over there. It's really incredible, the kind of dual node technology that you guys have built. It's very impressive. And And on that note, with this whole protocol infrastructure narrative that we're seeing right now, the Avalanche, the Solana, the ridiculousness that is Ethereum, that really I think just most of us are completely frustrated and fed up with Ethereum. It's just like, losing a lot of loyalty to that chain. And a lot of people are wondering if it's gonna stick around, and I just can't see how it will. We're so far off away from seeing scaling on Ethereum that by the time that they actually get scaling, these other protocols should have mass adoption already. I mean, I cannot stand Ethereum anymore. So can you tell us, Johnny, like a little bit about that layer one narrative, what you guys are doing, and then also, kind of what you're working on from the gaming and NFT aspect?
Yeah. So basically on Cardia chains, we are starting from the ideas of like working as a hub of any chains that can be rapid and talk to each other without changing any kind of code. So they can be easily later on you can do like for example for game, if you're using the same NFT, imagine you can create an NFT on Cardia chains. You can later on playing the game on the chain of Cardia, and then selling, doing the cross chain and selling through a BSC NFT marketplace. So that is one of the dual node technology they allow us to do in the very near future. So building from day one, we are aiming to become like a carrier, like a herd of any chains that going to be like 2-3 years from now, we believe that maybe just a few chains, big chains will be left, and we hope to be like the carrier, the heart of those chains, and have the transaction moving fast and stable and doing the cross chain stuff. Yeah, so pick up game as an example. Yeah.
Is that now when you talk about this kind of cross-chain stuff, or another word that we could use is like interoperability, I guess.
Yeah, interoperability.
Is it, are you, when it goes from Cardia chain, let's say BSC or something, is that or is it somehow do it natively?
So in our technology, different with the bridge, we are doing it natively. So basically, if you create a token, or you have like an NFT items create on the chain of Cardia, that item can be later on transferred natively through the other chains without changing anything. And so
that is,
yeah.
Sorry, Sergio. For anyone watching, guys, that is a big deal. That is a big deal. One of the reasons that, I mean, I always talk about the inefficiencies of layer twos. I think layer twos are just like, it's such an unpleasant user experience. To have that security of layer one, you should be on layer one. But if you want a transaction layer, you got to go to layer two. And for your average person, if we want to see mainstream adoption of any type of application, trying to get someone to go back and forth on bridges is ridiculous. And you still have to pay that base layer transaction fee. So, I think there's a few people that have been working on this kind of native interoperability or cross-chain functionality, Cardia chain, Cosmos, Polkadot. And guys, in my opinion, not financial advice, but Cardia chain is massively, my opinion, undervalued, because you guys have been working on this for a very long time, and massively popular in Vietnam as well. And I mean, last video I did about you guys was like, already had all the taxis in Vietnam using you, the major mobile company, like massive adoption, integrated within the government's thing and things like that. Yeah. Like, you guys are really dominating Vietnam for sure. And that's, one thing is, once you guys prove what you've done and from an infrastructure layer within one country, it's so easy to copy and paste that to other countries. And this is what I try to express to people when I talk about Cardia chain is like, look, they're demonstrating the ability to dramatically change the way that a country functions using blockchain from a bunch of different use cases. And instead of focusing on such a broad audience, you're demonstrating how you can do it on a lot of infrastructure layers in a country where you can then just copy paste to other countries moving forward. So I'm excited what you guys are doing. That's very cool. So sorry, keep going. I interrupted because I got excited.
Yeah, no worry. Yeah.
So how about
for the Cardia chains? So I mean, for the game right now. So we are looking at, so 5 months ago, we started with the ideas of doing the blockchain. Actually, that idea is coming from a year ago when no one in the market actually think about it. But then we are starting to look at this kind of piece, and we know it's a gems. And actually, we start to look for studio for a year ago, and 5 months ago we are starting with Deepak, and it turned out to be a good choice that we choose the BSC, and the same we use on our very early stage of the dual node to actually also launching on cardiac chains, and right now I think the project is moving quite well. So right now on the GameFi market in Vietnam, when you mentioned about cardiac chains, I'm pretty sure that most of the studio that are talking to us, and so the second game we are launching is one of very interesting project as well. Maybe I'm gonna mention in the later stage of the streaming. Yeah, it's gonna be the first MOBA and battle royale blockchain game ever in globally. Yeah, so hopefully we can talk more about it.
Was it Theta Arena?
I'm sorry, it's on
Arena.
PSA. It's a Theta Arena. Yes.
Yeah, let's. I mean, go ahead and let's just.
Battle royale, and then also a mobile theme that you can do like 2 versus 2 or 3 versus 3, and it's going to be so the exciting thing is like this is not like unlikely like the other games they doing like turn based and stuff, and we are doing real time, so that the real case, and this gonna having a kind of like so we don't go with just a normal play to earn theme, but that is the free to earn, which is also a new ways that we are thinking to get the mass adoption. So different with the play to earn, where you have to pay and purchase, to have an NFT, and for using that to have you have like an egg, and then you breed them, and you have another kind of like upgraded version of that. So for the Season Arena, everyone actually can download the app from the App Store, and it's free to play. So more and more like non-crypto people, they can just download the app and enjoy the game, and when they feel exciting, they can invest more and touch to the blockchain part. So we kind of like educate them along the way.
So to be clear,
yeah,
because I think right now the app stores for Android and iOS, they do not allow play to earn, right? They're not allowing cryptocurrency to be integrated. So in order to be downloaded from the phone stores, you need to have a play to earn, a free to play model, right? And on that free to play, you cannot earn when you're in that model. Is that right?
Yes. So basically, so we have two stuff. So all of the play to earn and wallet will be happen on the web. Like for example, you can see you can look at the Netflix. So any of the purchase on Netflix, you're gonna add to cart, and you are paying on the website where you can download the app on the App Store, and then you can continue watching on the videos on Netflix. So happening the same way with game right now. So we are talking to the Google and the Apple, and then get that apps approved. So basically, the thing that's related to blockchains, then that will be moved to the website part, where all of the free to play in the game itself will be stand on using the normal mobile app you can download from the App Store.
Gotcha. Yeah. Shoshi, are you looking more at like what kind of NFTs are you looking at? More from art or metaverses? Are you looking at land sales, in-game assets, or even like the utility tokens of games? Where are you focused, or all of the above?
Yeah, I think it's a mix of all the above, but I would say things I'm most excited about, like for generally just the world, right? The positive impact, I think play to earn and what different areas of the world can do to support the growth of that space is very important, because like you mentioned in the intro, there are people that are sustaining their life and improving their quality of life significantly by playing these games. And the more that we can equalize and balance those trade-offs, right? Like an AXIE, you need scholarships now or someone to sponsor you to play the game in many places, because the cost of entry to build a 3 AXIE team now is very high. But then if you flood the market and you make it cheap to play, then can you earn enough to sustain yourself? So it's this balancing act that's really tough to do. So how can you introduce skill-based components into a turn-based game or an open game? How can you balance the economy really well to give people opportunities and still let them, earn enough to sustain their life? So like that's a huge thing for me, and I'm watching that, not even for my own personal investment, but just because I'm interested in it. There's a lot of really cool stuff out there around play to earn that's not done yet, but it's just in the idea stage that I'm really excited about. Like AXIE was just the beginning of this for sure.
Yeah. So is that something that you're studying, is the in-game economics? You're actually looking. Yeah. So, all right, cool. So, I mean, because this is something that I think is absolutely critical, but I haven't had time yet to dive into it. So you kind of were very high level right now, but I'm wondering, like, I think that's incredibly important, right? Because we've demonstrated that you've got really two things, I think, that can make a game be very successful. One is like what we're used to, good graphics and engaging, something that just keeps you engaged for hours, right? And there's something that like AXIE that doesn't have the best graphics, probably not the most fun thing to play, but it's for a lot of people, it's a job. It's actually an economy. It's actually an entrepreneurial model. And I often wonder if AXIE would have been what it is today if it didn't have the play to earn entrepreneurial model in it, right? Because you got guys like Gabby and YGG who are out there hustling because they see a revenue stream from this, an opportunity to make money, and they're recruiting and educating and bringing people on board. And so for me, I wonder, if you didn't have that aspect, if it would be as successful. And I'm also wondering, is that sustainable and scalable, the AXIE model with the, or will it break at some point?
I mean, it's tough. I think they're already coming up to I'm not saying it's going to break, but I'm saying they've come up to a challenge, like an impasse, where scholarships are great. The idea where I'll basically lend you AXIEs and I'll take a cut of profit so that someone can play that might not be able to afford to get started. And that's a great idea. There's not a lot of good infrastructure in place to really do that in a truly trustless way, which is a big problem.
Right.
So there's work being done on that, which is really good. But then it's also, you need to make the economy around the game multifaceted, right? So like in AXIE, you've got the smooth love potions that you need to breed the AXIEs, and they balance that by every time you breed one with another, their breed count goes up and it takes more love potions to breed the AXIEs, right? So that's very, very straightforward. A lot of games, I think, are going to have to make these economies more complex and create more utility tokens like these love potions to create multiple opportunities for people to earn that might have either different skill levels, different barriers to entry in terms of cost, and creating just a multi-tier environment where it's not a simple, you have 3 AXIEs, you earn smooth love potions, you breed AXIEs, and that's it. There's going to have to be more opportunities in these games to earn and do different things that are skill-based. That's the key, I think, to it all, is you need to be inclusive, but there has to be some skill involved so that you don't have the same issues with, just raw bots doing things. Like focusing it on making sure humans are playing, not an easy task, and I'm generalizing, but I think adding some skill-based elements will really help with some of the bot economic effects.
Yeah, the other one that like Star Atlas is interesting because it kind of aims to incorporate both that mind-blowing, ultra realistic, 99% realistic environment with the VR glasses, because it's not gonna be ready for 7 or 8 years, optimistically probably, and until you actually feel like you're inside the game. But we're talking about in there where Michael from Star Atlas was saying that you could be a janitor and cleaning up trash on a spaceship and making some money, because like you got to pay for that kind of stuff, or you can go out and battle and lose $1 million ship in a battle, and this is the world that we're looking at moving forward. And that's both, but it's still a long ways out. Johnny, what did like, can you explain a little bit of the in-game economics in Theta Arena?
Yeah, sure. So actually, I just joined the crypto market for like 2 years. So I still have a very fresh of mind of the traditional work. So apply that for Theta. I mean, for the traditional games, we usually see that they not just have the money from the user, which is the gamer, um, but also they coming from advertiser and you know, the streamer.
Yeah.
So I actually take that into consideration, and in the Titan Arena we have a team that actually keep evolving, and like Hashushi said, that we are making to be more complex, and with more revenue stream coming from not just the fee from the marketplace, not just from the summon fee or the evolving fee. Yeah, and we are now we also having like the fee and the you know, the money coming from traditional company that they want to sponsor, you know, in character skin and maybe some custom mode that they want to make. It's something like Second
Nice.
Life they're actually doing in games like before. Yeah, and then I think in the metaverse also later on, I mean, real brands can engage with, you know, real people and real gamer inside the metaverse. So that idea that we're coming up with, the first one, you know, more revenue coming from advertiser that we can, you know, customize and create for them. Second is we are esport game, so we have tournaments. Different with the turn base, we have tournaments. So tournament in tournament, you can see the pro team, they compete with each other, and usually that going to be having a lot of prize and a lot of audience watching, and that's the opportunity for brand. They are tapping and investing, and tournament is huge for esports. You can see Garena, League of Legends, and those Counter Strike,
Yeah.
you know,
Huge.
going like really well. And the third one of the economics that we are creating is because we also pay attention to Twitch model is very interesting, and that's why Amazon acquired. So we are thinking, I mean, the community is always the core of any products. It's not just game, but any product. So we are kind of like think about that and empower that, allowing the streamer. Right now they can, because it's free to play anyway. They don't know they don't need to know about the blockchains. So we start to engage the Vietnamese streamer right now, and we also talk to the regional streamer about our game, and they actually trying on right now in Vietnam, and we're gonna have the campaign soon in the next few weeks after the game launching, and you're gonna see so streamer get on, and then so is their fans, and then also the revenue coming from that, and then they can use
Nice.
the theater coin to actually, you know, donate to them and make another economics, another use case. So that's the
Nice.
three things that we are implementing and learning, applying from the traditional game market into the
Awesome.
blockchain game.
All right. All right. All right. I guess I'm going to take, give, going to bring on Hashoshi and Johnny. I'll bring it right back. I just want to bring on our special guest for a second here. Dan and Lance, guys.
Yo, what's up?
He's in here a little bit. Father and son, what's happening, guys?
Hey, we're
Yo, this is awesome. Thanks for having us on.
appreciate it.
My nephews are so excited.
Your hair looks great, man. Don't worry about it. Your hair, perfect.
Awesome. My nephews are so excited that I'm going to be on YouTube that they're actually skipping school to watch your show.
It's amazing. Guys, yeah, meet Dan and Lance, father and son that are doing something that's, you know, something that I really, really near and dear to my heart, something that inspired me to get into Bitcoin and make blockchain and crypto career. My life was really to make a difference in this world. And, you know, all of us who are building something are doing it in one way or another, you know, whether it's educators like Hashoshi or people who are bringing, you know, revenue streams to people who really need it, like Johnny, or, you know, entrepreneurs like Dan and Lance, who are actually trying to make a difference in this effed up, rigged voting system that we have that is completely lacks transparency and accountability. And yeah, I guess, guys, if you could just take it away and tell everyone, you know, and first of all, it's huge, the biggest one by far, guys. Like, look at 100K from private sale from Represent over here, like massive. So thank you, guys, and please let us know what you're building.
No worries. When you have a chance to donate to charity, you should go big.
Yeah, go big always.
So I guess our project's called Represent. And what we've essentially built is we've built a decentralized governance protocol that can be used basically for any situation, whether it's geographical areas, organizationals, or for crypto DAO governance. You had mentioned I guess the issues with trust in our current electoral process. And that was like most evident in the last United States election, where there was that whole issue with mail-in ballots. Was there voter fraud? Was there not? No one really knows. There was recounts in a bunch of states. The election went on for weeks at a time. And the problem with the electoral system at its core fundamental level is the lack of transparency in the entire process. If I, as an individual citizen, drop my vote in the ballot, did it actually count? I have no way of, there's no way for me to personally verify the results of the election for myself. If you conduct the election on a blockchain, every single citizen can track every single vote. It's completely transparent. We don't need anyone to, we're not reliant on a centralized authority to tell us, yes, this political party won. Because the system, like look at the state of Georgia, for example, it had a recount. Why is there even recounts in the electoral process? It's because on some level, the overall populace, the government, and the electoral agencies accept that there is some degree of failure within their system. If you conduct the election on the blockchain, every single citizen can track every single vote. There's no room for a miscount. There's no question of, did my vote count? I can watch my vote went from this address to that address. The tally's there. I can see everything happening. So it's just overall a completely better system in every single way. It blows current traditional voting methods out of the water.
Not to mention the tremendous amount of time of people's lives that would be saved. I mean, imagine all of the effort that goes on to not, I mean, I think I never voted as a U.S. citizen because I always knew it was a bunch of crap. But also, I had better things to do with my day than go sit in line for 4 hours and I knew it was all rigged anyway, right? Yeah, go ahead, Lance.
Yeah, dude. I mean, like you could just vote on your phone. Like, yeah, I could be sitting on the couch, boom, 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 done the transaction on my phone. It's faster, it's cheaper, it's more secure, it's more transparent, it's better in every single way. It's not even close.
So I'm gonna Hatoshi, Johnny, what do you guys think about this idea?
Yeah, I mean, I think having modernized systems to replace in a digital fashion governance, both in municipal sense, at a state level, at a federal level. I mean, heck, maybe one day we have governance that actually breaks down borders where people can all work together regardless of where you live. I mean, the possibilities are endless, but I agree. It's a huge challenge to solve. There's a lot of complexities and a lot of, hidden political challenges and technical challenges as well along the way to preserve privacy, but also make it transparent, whatever. It's an amazing problem to solve, and more power to anyone who's doing it.
Yeah, I mean, it's important to note the Represent platform, it's not exactly, we haven't been built for the election process. Like we can do that, but it generates more as like an awareness tool. So I'll give you I'll tell you why we named it Represent. The majority of contemporary democracies around the world operate under some form of representative model where you elect an official and they're meant to represent the community at large, right? For example, the individual who we've elected in our community, he has a district of about 150,000 citizens. How is he supposed to accurately actually represent the members of his community? If he has a important policy or bill or something that he has to vote on, and he wants to do the job that he was elected to do to represent his community, he first has to know what the community actually wants. And how does he do that? He can't go door to door to 100,000 homes. You can't send out hundreds of thousands of emails and go through everything. It's completely absurd. It would take forever. He could use our app. He could set the geographical locations just for his own personal community. And then he knows that every vote that's coming in for the question that he's asked is coming from the community that we're currently in. So he's getting targeted data. He's instantly able to know what his community wants. And he's instantly able to go and he's able to go and do his job to serve his community by representing the will of the people.
That's awesome. I mean, because a lot of people, I mean, one of the questions that people would ask on the elevator pitch is like, that sounds utopian and very nice and transparency and blah, blah, blah. But someone would instantly say, well, come on, like politicians love the lack of transparency. They love the lobbying and things like that. But what you guys are doing is taking this kind of approach of like giving more information to the people that are representing the people, right? And hopefully, eventually, it will seep into a bigger picture, is what you guys told me before, right?
Yeah, well,
yeah, much bigger, Kyle, much bigger indeed, because we're not really too concerned about the centralized system authority. We have built this protocol for a specific purpose, and it's not government or politics. It's governance, and it's very important to understand the difference between governance, government, and politics. We sidestep all elected officials. I mean, those are our neighbors. I mean, it's for too long people have been taught that government is separate from themselves. And that's the biggest lie that's ever been perpetrated, because we're the government. We create it and we pay for it. Our app, with some of our partners, we were partnered with Velis. They've got the ability to do 75,000 transactions per second. So I want you to imagine 10 million people on our app who can generate their own proposals based on what they're hearing from any agendas that are being pushed in their geographical area by government.
That's powerful.
And they can instantly, generate a proposal and vote on it. 10 million people, you can get the results that are anonymous, transparent, secure in under 2.5 minutes. So this is a daily protection, a majority voice protection tool that can be utilized every single day in every land in the world. And that's just one of our areas. We have 3 areas of governance, and it's just one of our DApps that we're going to do to create a sovereignty seed, so that decentralized technology can really not tear down the framework of centralized systems, because that infrastructure is already there. We can make it much more efficient and make people much more sovereign in their geography and do things that have never before been done in the history of humanity, just by giving people the voice that is so quick on any given day to tell their elected neighbors just exactly what the people want in their area. So it'll increase prosperity massively. It's just user adoption.
And guys, if anyone's wondering how they'll be able to do this, I know that Dan and Lance are very well connected with the local governments, and so it's all about starting, in somewhere where you've got those connections, and they already have the relationships to kind of, bring those changes in on a local level. If people want to find out more about Represent, where do they go?
Oh, you can join our Telegram, Twitter, our website at Represent DAO. You can find us on Twitter at Represent DAO. That's the easiest way to find us. And then you can find our website,
or
Twitter.
Apollo X.
Yeah. Or you can find us on Apollo X.
Go to Apollo X.
We're launching on Apollo X September 17th.
Yeah. Nice, guys. Go check it out. Be part of a global change, you guys. And before I leave, I got to ask, or before you guys leave, I got to ask you a question. You guys aping into any NFTs lately?
Okay. I play a ton of games. I've played games all my life. I was playing game battles in Halo. I was a 50 in MLG. I played game battles in MW2. My team was like eighth in North America. I've been top 500 in Overwatch for the last 20 seasons. I play a lot of games, and I look at it from a practical standpoint. I see a lot of games, a lot of these blockchain games are coming out, and they're selling NFT items or NFT characters for the game when it's not even out yet. And some of these NFT characters are priced at $3,000 or something. And I mean, on a practical standpoint, if I want to play a game, I can do a lot for $3,000. I can buy a PlayStation 5, a 4K TV, a gaming headset, controllers. I can buy some of the best games in the world. I think what a lot of these games need to do is deliver their product first and deliver a game that people like to play, and then they'll play those microtransactions. If you look at Genshin Impact, for example, right? Mm-hmm. It's already made hundreds of millions of dollars. It released their game free to play, and then they really didn't have their first microtransaction until 3.5 weeks into the game. And by then, the entire player base had already put in 50 to 200 hours of game time. So when people already like your game and they've shown that, this is a fun game, I want to play it, they're a lot more likely to do those microtransactions, stuff like that. Like Overwatch, for example, they had their first event 3 weeks into the game. Fortnite, again, they didn't start actually selling stuff until like 3.5 weeks into the game. So a lot of these games are trying to sell you big NFTs, expensive characters before the game is even out. It's just, I think it's impractical.
Do you think that, so with that being said, do you think that, and this is important for people that are watching this because there's mania right now, right? And do you think that this $3,000 in-game item that you're talking about is it's beginning in a bubble already to where that will devalue by the time that the game might actually launch, or do you think that it's in a world of mania where that would be sustainable?
Well, the idea that your NFT character is going to be sustainable is dependent upon user base. So would you gamble if you're playing a game, because that's what these are games. So if you're playing a game, would you spend $3,000 on a character for a game that's not even out? I would never do that. But so, I mean, I can't tell you if the NFT as an investment is going to gain value or not. I'm just saying from a practical standpoint, if I'm playing a game, $3,000 goes a long way. I can have a sick gaming setup for $3,000 to buy a character for a game that's not even out. I feel like it's a bit audacious.
Yeah, I guess there's the difference is that we're living in a world of speculation too, right? So, and I think from the land perspective is a little bit of a different story. And maybe I don't know, you know, I think that again it goes back, Hoshoshi, to the in-game economics, and like, you know, if this game becomes the metaverse that people live in, you know, and there's a finite supply of these items, you know, what is someone willing to pay for that? You know, and that's an interesting thing to think about. But Lance, man, we've been talking a lot about games lately. We're gonna have to bring you back, man, and on the show another week just to get your input as a hardcore gamer, man. So you guys, thank you so much for coming up. Love what you're doing. Huge fan. Wish you guys the best of luck. You know, we'll be there the whole way with you. Guys, make sure you check out their launch on Apollo X next week. Guys, have a great night. Have a great day.
See you guys.
Take care. Thanks.
See ya. Okay, that's cool. I had no idea that Lance was that's such a hardcore gamer, man. He dropped some knowledge bombs on us right there too. A little bit of reality, a little harsh, you know. Yeah, these lay on sales and these things they're expensive already, right? And crazy mad rush in. And that's the thing too that I think that people should be aware about. Or maybe Hoshoshi, you can tell us a little bit more about what are the potential dangers of coming in and buying some of these in-game assets before the game launches at these kind of high prices, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you are by definition, when you do that, speculating. You're speculating on many things. You're speculating that the finite asset that you buy, you're trusting that company who really does not answer to you, that they're not going to inflate supply later, right? They might decide we're going to create a whole separate, you know, region in this game with more land, which makes you you know, by proportion, a smaller unit owner, right? You don't have control over that. You have maybe their word, but you know, their word is their word. Weirder things have happened in the past. You're also betting that there's demand, that people are going to come on board and want that land that you have, which is going to drive up the demand. And this goes for land, ships. I just saw a comment in the chat, like ships, all sorts of stuff, right? And that the speculation is that there's going to be demand, that the supply is going to be predictable, and that the game is going to be fun enough to bring in users to create that demand. And all of those things are guesses, things that you believe, but you cannot be absolutely sure of. So the way to protect yourself is obviously to be measured in the type of risk that you take. Don't risk your lifestyle for something speculative that's a year down the road, 6 months down the road, 3 years down the road, whatever it is. You make sure you understand that whatever you put in could end up being worth nothing, right? That's the fact.
Let's go into metaverses for a second. I'm gonna pop up this video.
I think of the metaverse as the next generation of the internet. So you can kind of think about it as, instead of being an internet that we look at, it's an internet that we are a part of. Video conferencing, or eventually being able to collaborate better in the metaverse in products like workrooms, what we built here, I think is all just part of this progression of giving people more freedom to live where they want. I think it's gonna be wild, and it's the thing that I am the most excited about contributing to building over the next 5 to 10 years.
I love the VR version of Zuckerberg, man. He looks like a 14-year-old boy.
Yeah.
So Johnny, you guys have plans for the metaverse?
In Sweden arena, I think it take a long way, but actually when I take a look at the video, I remember my own time in Facebook. Actually, I was working in Facebook in 2015, and actually at that time, Mark Zuckerberg has already had his ideas when he bought the Oculus firm that produced the AR and VR classes, and I think he's been thinking of that like long ago. If you even you search back at 2016, there is videos about him, sharing about metaverse, where people actually in I think there is an event that people wearing the Oculus Rift and then watching his presentation. So definitely as we see games like Second Life where people actually spending money and spending time staying there and working there, even earning money from that game. I think the metaverse have the very potential to actually be the new ways of how gamers and brand actually interact with the audience, where they can live their second life. They have their second identity in their virtual worlds. So definitely we are gonna be there. But first I think the world has to actually solve in the infrastructure where the internet is fast enough and everyone can afford a device to actually access to the virtual worlds. And I think that's going to take some time for the real mass adoption for metaverse. That makes sense.
I agree. It's going to be a wild world, and we still have a long way to go before we have these fully immersive metaverses that aren't voxel style. Shoshi, I want to know, like, a lot of people want to know how do you find the next NFT project that's going to pop off? There's if you go look at any of these sites that kind of aggregate the mints, whether it's land or generative art or one of ones, or even like vintage 2017 and 18 NFT collections. How do you find these things, and what's your strategy, and how do you protect yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's two sides to it, right? The most important is how do you protect yourself. The way you protect yourself first and foremost is you can't be emotional, and I know that's what humans do, right? You think about the end from the beginning. You're like, okay, I'm going to buy this. I'm going to be rich in 2 weeks. Totally get that. I mean, I feel that way. Everybody feels that way when you see this cool project. But you got to resist that urge, because oftentimes people look for a quick flip. They use a bot. They mint these profile pictures. They sell them on a quick flip on OpenSea. You buy it for 3 ETH, and then the floor drops to 1 ETH, and now you're out, whatever market value is, $7 grand, $8 grand. That's not a small amount of money. And so I think people just need to be very careful about that. If you can't mint, don't go and FOMO in and be like, I need to have this now. There's always another opportunity to find these projects. There's no science to it or, easy way to win. If that were the case, then you wouldn't see the values that we have on some of these NFTs. The only thing that I can point to is that you have to look at the community first, because if the community is there, if you have good quality art, you have maybe cool secondary benefits, maybe around that art or a roadmap around it, like experiences that come from that art. And the community around it's very passionate. That's a good indication to you that, okay, there might be something here. And that's a maybe, right? That's not like an instant, okay, this is a winner. Because there's a lot of times where community gets mistaken for a bunch of people who want to pump it so they can make money.
When moon.
Right.
I was going to mention that. You got you have to actually go and see what they're talking about in the community, because sometimes if you go in there, especially before mint, it's just when Lambo, when moon. It's exactly reminds me of 2017 right now.
If the community is there for the sole purpose of getting other people to buy the thing, and not about like, wow, I'm so excited for the experiences. I'm excited for what's going to happen a year from now. That's when you're like, okay, maybe there's something here where there's an actual community building around the experience, the culture of this project. And sometimes maybe the art just speaks to you, right? I miss those times where it's like, the thing is just cool. Even if I don't make a ton of money from this, I might want to print this out. I want the rights to this. I want to hang this on my wall. Like that's what art has been about for a long time. And I still think there's some value there. That's why photography, really high quality photography with some level of scarcity is doing really well in this space. Maybe isn't an ape that's worth 50 ETH, but things like that are doing well still.
There's one more danger too, right? And it's something that you touched on, but from another perspective. I was talking to Elio Trades, like 2 nights ago, and I was like, yeah, man, well done on the Fidenza you got. He's like, I know, but now I'm fucked, man. Like I'll never be able to sell it, because he's just too emotionally attached to it, right? So he spent a lot of money on it. Now it's worth exponentially more than he spent on it, but he'll never sell it. It's just it's just too emotionally attached to it. And I never really got I never really understood the art emotional attachment to an NFT until I actually got one. And then I was like, then I got it because I didn't. And then I learned my lesson that if you can't afford to buy 2, make sure that you buy 2. If you want to make some money off one, because if you only have one, it's going to be hard to sell that thing. If it's got some value and if you think it's going to be worth even more in the future, and if you just like it, because it often becomes like your profile picture or your background or whatever. So, that's another unknown danger that people that haven't got into it, haven't experienced yet. Johnny, are you buying NFTs these days?
Yeah, I do, but more like so in Cadet Chains we have our own platform selling art content, and a lot of that is coming from the disabled people that people actually collect those NFT also for helping and supporting those disabled people in Vietnam. So we're having that project coming on, and a lot of support from even the government and also the people. The name is Control. Can show you the link later, but that is one of the projects that we are also doing in Cadet Chains. For the Titan Arena, we are also thinking the way to actually because you mentioned about emotion wrapping around the NFT. We are actually thinking about that, and a lot of streamers they're asking to actually working with the Titan Arena and mint their own item and skin. And wow, cool. Hello.
This is Rupert. He normally has his Bitcoin hanging, but it fell off the other day.
So cool, man. So working with those streamers, and they are also asking a lot about how to actually mint their own kind of set of NFT, and fans can not just donating, but also buying and collect those very unique NFT items from them. So if we can successfully crack that, it's going to be huge in the market also. Yeah.
Can you say that name again? Because I want to go check it out. So first of all, you guys have your own NFT marketplace on Cartier Chain, is that right?
Yes, correctly. Yeah.
All right, guys. Again, protocol play coming up. I told you about Elrond like a week or 2 ago. You saw it explode yesterday. It's Cello, Cartier Chain, Elrond. We got Hathor coming up. Like, if you're looking for some alpha and you want some, look at these guys who are integrating NFTs into their layer 1 based on their protocols. I'm not going to tell you what, because I haven't bought enough yet, but go check out the Polkadot ecosystem. Some real interesting stuff going on over there. RMRK. All right, guys, we got to wrap it up. I actually have another call in about 30 seconds. Thank you so much for coming on, Hashoshi, Johnny, and Johnny, and Thetan Arena is launching on Ignition, guys. Very, very soon. The whitelist is open right now. Go check it out. Gonna be epic. Hashoshi, thanks, brother. See you guys. Have a wonderful day, evening, afternoon. See you guys later.